In the annals of history, pandemics have come and gone, but none have left a mark quite like the Black Death. Imagine living in the 14th century, a time when Europe was thriving with culture, trade, and a burgeoning population. Suddenly, everything changes. The year is 1347, and a shadow is about to sweep across the continent. It all began in the east, in the heart of Asia. The disease, caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis, was spread through fleas that infested rats. These weren't just any rats. They were the unwitting companions of merchants and sailors. As they traveled along trade routes, they carried more than just goods. They carried death. When the Black Death hit Europe, it was like a scene from a horror movie. Imagine waking up one day to news that your neighbor, once full of life, now lies cold and lifeless. Within weeks, entire towns were decimated. The streets became eerily silent. Bodies piled up, and the stench of decay filled the air. It's estimated that between 75 to 200 million people perished. Now let's talk symptoms. The Black Death didn't just strike quickly, it did so with a vengeance. Victims often developed painful buboes, swollen lymph nodes that bulged grotesquely from the skin. They were feverish, delirious, and within days, they were gone. Those who survived faced a world that was forever changed. The trauma of loss hung heavy in the air. Families were torn apart, communities shattered. But the Black Death didn't just bring death, it also sparked a profound transformation in society. With so many dead, labor became scarce. Suddenly, the working class found themselves in a unique position of power. Wages rose, and the feudal system began to crumble. People started demanding more rights. The pandemic, in its ruthless way, became a catalyst for social change. Now, let's take a moment to consider the medical understanding of the time. Physicians were baffled. They had no idea what they were dealing with. Many believed it was a punishment from God or a result of bad air. They wore beak-like masks filled with herbs, hoping to ward off the miasma. They were completely unaware that the true enemy lurked in the blood of infected individuals. As the pandemic raged on, fear and superstition took hold. People turned to scapegoats. Jews were blamed for poisoning wells, and violent pogroms erupted across Europe. It was a dark time, where suspicion bred hatred and humanity turned against itself. The Black Death laid bare the fragility of society and the depths of human fear. Fast forward to today, and we can't help but draw parallels with our own experiences during COVID-19. The fear of the unknown, the race for a vaccine, the isolation. History has a way of repeating itself. The lessons learned from the Black Death are still relevant. We need to reflect on our responses to crises and how we treat each other in times of fear. Despite the devastation, the Black Death also taught resilience. Communities that survived began to adapt and innovate. The Renaissance, a period of cultural rebirth, was born from the ashes of this catastrophe. Art, science, and philosophy flourished as people sought to make sense of their existence in a changed world. So, as we navigate our own challenges, let's remember the past. The Black Death was a brutal reminder of our mortality and the power of human perseverance. It tested the very fabric of society, but also paved the way for new beginnings. As we reflect on this deadly pandemic before COVID-19, let us honor those who suffered, recognize the strength of those who survived, and strive to build a better world, learning from the lessons history has to offer. In the face of adversity, we can emerge stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. History may be a harsh teacher, but it also gives us the tools to forge a brighter future.